Hello all. As embedded engineers, we work on several critical projects. So these projects basically involve developing products to be used in real-time scenarios. While these executing these projects and coming up with a product, engineers have to follow certain processes. These processes help us to streamline the activities that need to be performed in coming up with a final output. So during this system development life cycle, basically we call SDLC, there are certain methodologies that are followed like waterfall, agile. So these methodologies are very important to streamline the project and then guide the engineer on the sequence to be followed while executing the project. So in this video, we will talk about the waterfall methodology. So basically waterfall methodology is the common methodology used in developing systems. So while most of the engineers do follow agile, waterfall is still followed and especially for the embedded hardware designs, waterfall is the best methodology to follow, and for the firmware, most of the projects are following agile methodology. So we will talk about what is agile methodology, waterfall methodology, sorry. So waterfall methodology basically involves a sequence of steps where first the project would be initiated. So the marketing team or whoever is dealing with our customers or the external teams do list the sequence of steps, and then internally there will be a lot of brainstorm that happens to come up with the first step, which is called the project initiation. And then once the project initiation is done, it goes to the internal project management team where there will be planning that will be done, like the start and end of the project and the sequence of events that need to be happening. So all these would be decided. Once all these are done and flowed across the project team, the design is going to be initiated. So this design involves complex things, especially the hardware, firmware, depending on whatever the system specifications demand. So the design would be the output, and then this design involves coming up with a block diagram, and then the things that need to be included for the success of this project. All these would be part of this design. Once the design is done, there will be development. So this development involves basically the schematic for the hardware, firmware development, which is required to be ported to the board, and any mechanical related activities for the enclosure. So all these would be part of this. And once this is done, and once the hardware is available, the firmware engineers would be porting the code to this particular board which is being manufactured and assembled, and then the testing would be done. Post the testing, this would be integrated with the entire system and in the field wherever it is required. So these are the sequence of steps where at the beginning of the project itself, the entire project team knows what are all the requirements. Everything is clearly defined. That is the major advantage of this. And everyone in the team knows what need to be done. Now, one of the major disadvantages is that, let us assume we are at some development or testing phase, and then we realize that a major change is required from the system perspective, and requirements have changed. And by that time, we already would have proceeded 1 to 2 months of activity in the design, and now everything need to be approached again. While this is the major disadvantage of the waterfall, there are several methodologies like agile which eliminate this. Another disadvantage with respect to waterfall is that, example, we have come up with the requirements at the beginning, and the design team started working on it, and the entire project, example, the duration of this project is around 6 to 8 months. So in this case, what happens is that by the end of the 8 months, there is a chance that if the project is not tracked properly by the respect to engineer, the project manager, or any other responsible person, there is a chance that some of the requirements might lose track, because the initial requirements discussion might have happened at the beginning, and the final product has come up after a point of time. So now in this case, it is very important that the documentation is maintained, and for each and every step the documentation is a deliverable and there is a sign off. So that is one of the important thing in waterfall methodology. Now we have seen the disadvantage during the design and development phase, where we understand that this takes the longer duration, and any mistakes here could lead to a disaster of the project. Now one of the like we can say workaround for this is, once the project planning is done, we can divide this particular design into sub designs. Like example, instead of one team completely doing it, let us divide into several modules and sub designs, we can say them as sub designs, and then individual teams handling this design as well as the development, and they merge it before releasing it. Example, let us assume if we are doing a embedded hardware board, if there is a main card and a daughter card, and also some test boards that need to be developed, rather than a single team developing it, if you divide them to a main card, and then a team has a daughter card and another team doing the test boards, and also in the firmware, if you can develop teams individually, like a specific team working on daughter card, if any programming is involved, on the main card a separate team, and then a separate team for the test boards. So such kind of sub designs approach could be one of the workaround here. And then what happens is, as these are being divided, everyone is clear, rather than taking it as a cumbersome activity. Everyone, every individual who are working on the sub designs are clear what is their approach, and then once it is integrated, everyone come together and deliver the hardware or the firmware. And then post that, testing anyway need to be done as the complete system, and then integration has to happen. So the workaround could be possible here, because this is the critical step which determines the project success. While testing failures are because of the design and development, any board functionality issues or failures that arise due to manufacturing or assembly, that can be overcome anyway during the testing. But if the entire design is a failure, then it is difficult for the project to recover time as well as cost. So there are disadvantages here, there are workarounds here. People still use waterfall methodology for their designs, because this is one of the we can say legacy ones which have been followed, especially in the embedded hardware one. Following a agile methodology for embedded hardware has led to several confusions, failures. So definitely for the hardware wise, it is important that we follow this waterfall methodology, which gives more clarity to the design team, and for the firmware team, the agile methodology could be the one. Now please let us know if you have any different methodologies you have followed, or any workarounds during the process or any issues you have seen. If you can comment, it will help others. Thanks for watching this video. In the future videos we will talk about the agile methodologies, and then V model, which is part of the waterfall methodology. We will see what has improved in agile compared to waterfall and how it is helping projects to be a success. Thanks for watching. Please let us know your comments on this video. Like and subscribe our channel. Thank you.